Good afternoon, YouTube. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And today I would like to speak to you guys um, about relationships. More than ever, we are seeing the changes that have been happening. So many things are happening around the world. Um, and it's just amazing how fast time goes by. And we just have to cherish the relationships that we have. Um, we really have to cherish it and be grateful for the people that we have in our lives. Be grateful for your family. Be grateful for the friends, the real friends that you have. Uh, I remember back in, I'm gonna say maybe about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I was taking a class. And I remember the professor saying that as you get older, you're going to be able to count with your fingers how many people are your friends. I kind of laughed. At the time, I thought that I had a lot of friends. But as time goes on, as you get older, you just start to mature. And I'm not that old. I'm blessed to be now 45 years of age. But what the professor was saying, now that I think about it, it is true. Uh, it's just as you get older, you just see that a lot of times there's people that you think they're your friends, but they're really not your friends. And some people who you may have had a relationship with and you no longer have a friendship with them, it's not that they're bad. Sometimes these people, they're in your life for a period of time. My lady and I, we like to call it a season. Sometimes they're in your life for a season. Um, it could be a chapter. I would consider that less time, or pages. They're there for a short period of time. But we just have to learn to cherish the people in our lives, especially the friends. Good friends are very hard to find. When you find a good friend, my advice is cherish that relationship. And you want to make sure that it's a healthy relationship. I think we all have experienced bad things in a friendship. I think we all have had our share of drama, betrayal. But despite all that stuff, there comes a time when you just got to shake it. You got to shake all that stuff off. Sometimes we hurt, from things that people have done to us that is wrong. And we also are guilty of making our share of mistakes in a relationship. But it comes down to you valuing what you have. If you have a good friend in your life, a loyal friend, cherish that person. And things change. You have to understand, times change and we're going to change as time goes by. I remember there was a time when I was single, when I didn't have any kids, and I had all these people in my life. We hung out, we played sports together, we went out to the movies, we did different things. And then we got older and I started seeing how we all just started to fall in love and settle down. Everyone started to move, uh, relocate. I remember one friend of ours, great gal, really cool. She fell in love and she got married and moved all the way to Abu Dhabi, out of the country. But it's amazing. It's just amazing because, like I said, things change. People change. So that's why, today I just felt to to encourage anyone that's watching this video, you have a friend maybe you haven't spoken to in a while, and you know that person is loyal, you know they're good people, they've been there for you, don't lose touch. Value that relationship, because true friends are hard to find, and there comes a time when you just realize that all these people that you think are your friends are not really your friends. So you want to value those people that are loyal, that are true, that are rooting for you. There are people that they come into your life and they may not necessarily be good for you. There's people that you think are good for you, and a lot of times they just hold you back. It tends to be a toxic relationship. So I'm very cautious these days when choosing who I'm gonna let into my life. I'm not perfect. I'm no saint, but I'm just at a point in my life where I kind of avoid people in a way. It's not that I'm being a jackass or anything like that. I'm known to be a guy that's, nice. I think that I'm an approachable, friendly person, and I like people, but I'm just at a point in my life where I'm kind of avoiding a little bit, you know? I value so much the peace that I have, the mental peace, the focus, the fact that I'm no longer distracted as I once was. I value those things. So I'm very selective, and with who I'm gonna let into my life, because when you're gonna bring somebody into your life, a new friend, you wanna make sure that that person is gonna be there for you, but you're also gonna be there for that person. You're gonna lift each other up. You're gonna root for each other. You're gonna be there for each other. So it's very important. It's very important that you let good people into your life. And sometimes there might be a time in your life where maybe you may feel alone. And that doesn't happen just to happen. That happens for a reason. Sometimes it's God allowing that to happen so that you can get closer to Him, so that you can discover your assignment, your purpose, why you're here. Sometimes we don't know. A lot of people, they're just wandering around, just going through the motions, depressed, sad. So sometimes God allows that too. And really just, make the time. Make the time with those people that have been loyal, who have been a blessing, who have been good to you. Make that time for those people. Even though changes happen, as I mentioned, people, we settle down, we get married, we have kids, we move on to new careers or starting a business. Whatever the case is, things change and you become busy, but don't be too busy to make time for those people that really care about you. Those are the people that you want to go the extra mile and just make that time for them. You don't know how long you're going to have them around, and we don't know how long we're going to be around. So you definitely want to make time, and more than ever, just, be careful with who you're going to allow into your life. You want to make sure that it's a relationship that is healthy, that it's not going to be toxic. It's not going to be someone that's negative. What you want around you is people that are going to lift you up. It's kind of like a Bible verse. I believe it's in Proverbs that it talks about That when you have a good friend, it's kind of like iron sharpens iron. That person is gonna make you a better person, and you're gonna make that person better. So that's that verse that it talks about that. It says, "Sharpen iron, sharpen. Iron sharpens iron." So you want that kind of person in your life. You want someone that's going to make you better, and you're gonna make that person better. So I just felt to share that with you guys today. Uh, just make the time, and cherish those people that are loyal and that are there for you. Make that time for them. So that's all for today, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.